It's been a tremendous journey and overall very successful. We've been very pleased with the events that we've been able to stage here. The Rwanda Development Board and Rwanda as a country has been a tremendous host, starting with launching the league amidst the pandemic in 2021. We played in a bubble. This was the only place where we could do it after, looking at different options. I think, from the first year we build on, and every year, things have gotten better. Coming into this third season, we thought it was going to be our most competitive season to date, and we were not disappointed. The games were extremely competitive. We have local heroes emerge from different teams. These are players from Africa, some who have never been out of the continent. When I look at young people like Ali Jara or Suleiman Berthe from Stade Malien, Jean-Jacques Boissy from Senegal, and other young players. So this league was meant to be a platform where this talent could be showcased. So, the growing interest we see from fans, not only across Africa but around the world, seeing that Rwanda has become over the past 3 years a destination in May where people come to enjoy, obviously, the basketball games and all the ancillary events that we organize, but also to manifest what we think sports can do as a contributor of a GDP of a country in terms of tourism here, people wanting to come and visit and to do other activities. The league is a catalyst, for us, to really build an economic growth engine that would create employment, not just on the court, but also off the court. No, for the next 5 years, the goal is to continue to build on the momentum, to build on the incredible stories that have emerged over the brief story, the brief history of the league. Continue to expand the footprint. We're going to come to Rwanda for 3 out of the 5 years for the finals, but we'll look at other markets where we would host the finals, for the first time. I know we're going to continue to attract top talent from around the world. We've seen that every year. But most importantly, we're going to continue to retain elite talent from the continent. We've seen young players playing in other parts of the world who are coming back. And that's going to undoubtedly have a positive effect on local leagues. That's what we want to see. We want the leagues in Rwanda, or Senegal, or Angola, South Africa, Egypt to continue to be strong, because the stronger those local leagues, the stronger our league is going to be, because we are the Champions League. You got to win your national league in order to qualify to come to the Basketball Africa League. Well, right now we have 2 conferences. We have the Sahara Conference, which we've played in Dakar the past 2 years, and the Nile Conference, which we've played in Cairo the last 2 years. But we are looking at, obviously, always to innovate and tweak things, just to make adjustments to have a more compelling product. So we would, in the next few weeks or months, we will have some further announcement in terms of, it may be a slightly different format that we utilize next year, but at the end of the day, we will always look to do what best positions the Basketball Africa League for maximum success. Yeah, look, I think first of all, committing to being here for the next 5 years is a big step, and with that big step, we're looking to maximize on the potential of the relationships. So we're really open to exploring ideas. We're going to continue to stay engaged with Madame Claire and her office at the Rwanda Development Board, Minister Munyangaju, and Rwanda CEO. We've heard it. We are really looking to make sure that we leverage the partnership to its fullest and to deliver value both for the Basketball Africa League and also for Rwanda. I say, and then that's legitimate. I think that's something that grew over time, so certainly you start somewhere, and then you build. So the sky is the limit in terms of what could happen, from this relationship, in terms of not only events, but just to continue to drive fans here in this country, and also, what we can continue to imagine together, as in terms of events. Yes, you noted those ancillary events, and I know we get comments and feedback that are very positive from people who came from all across Africa and also around the world, continuing to, showcase and market to the African diaspora. So to give them reasons to, want to come and visit Africa and hopefully invest also in the infrastructure, in the youth, because that's, at the end of the day, will remain our priority. How do we continue to, build talent, build capacity amongst young people? Like I say, and as you build and as you continue to grow your ambitions, anything become possible. Everything is going to be evolutive, like it's a, we are building forward momentum. First we got to make sure that there's more girls participating in the sports. We got to continue to raise the profile of the women's game, to grow the women's game, to grow more talent, develop, because, and I think we talked about it with our FIBA partners, focusing on building the talent base, building a talent pool, I think is going to be a key priority, because in order to sustain a league, you need to have, competitive teams across many countries. Right now, there are certain countries where I know the women's game is extremely popular, but we got to continue to grow that number. Yeah, but first of all, the way our rosters are structured, you have 8 out of 12 players are local players, So I think our focus is more to engage with local teams to develop local talent. If you look at the teams that are successful in the BAL, they all have, stable local leagues with a decent local talent base, So you look at our first winner was Zamalek from Egypt. They have a professional league that runs, consistently. Even their players who go to the US to play college basketball, when they finish, they come back, they're playing for Zamalek, Al Ahly, or Ittihad, and all the clubs across the Premier League in Egypt. And then US Monastir that won the league last year in season 2, same thing. Tunisia have a stable league. In fact, there was the reigning Afrobasket champion, they won it 3 times, like Angola, and then the finalists last year was Angola. They have a, stable running league, professional team. And this year you had AS Douane from Senegal in the finals. The league may not be as professional as those other countries, but it's a league that's been running for a long time with clubs like AS Douane, who has that experience competing at that level. So for me, really, as far as developing the local talent base in Africa, we're going to support, we're going to be a catalyst, but we got to make sure that the teams, take that on. And also with the NBA Academy here, where we are identifying talent and developing this talent, and this talent also being, connected through the BAL Elevate program with the BAL teams. So we think like there's enough being done here on the continent to make sure that we have a higher quality of local players in every roster, because they're going to be the majority of the players. And the other thing I want to highlight is when we stage the combine outside of Africa, it's a way to engage, with fans across the African diaspora. When we chose to play in Paris last year, because there's a lot of, players who are of, African, parents, whether they live in the UK or Germany or, Belgium and obviously France, we can, get them in this combine, and bringing the team, also the players from the US where the local BAL, the BAL team can travel to evaluate talent. So this combine is going to take place in many other places. So ultimately, we will see when is the right time to host it on the continent or to host it in the US. We hosted the first one in Brooklyn in 2019. This is right before the pandemic hits. So I think I understand some of the comments, but it just probably an education that we all need to have to understand that we are growing a Pan-African product and also a global product. So it's a matter of positioning, and we were in Paris the week that there was an NBA game there. So it's really was more about leveraging all that the focus on basketball in a city that is really with a big presence of African fans. So it wasn't just about going to Paris for the sake of hosting this event in Paris, but it was very strategic. I just want to thank everybody who's worked tremendously hard to bring this partnership extension into fruition, and we are super excited to be coming back to Kigali for our finals next year, and also to continue to stage Basketball Africa League games in Kigali. The league is growing. The interest from fans and from players who want to be part of it, and we're looking forward to see its impact, on the economies and also on the continued development of basketball in Africa, in impacting national team competitions, because I know there's AfroChan coming up in Angola, where players who've played in the league will be eligible to play for their national team. I think that's going to only add to the quality of the games that will be, staged in international competition.